The third problem the PreSocratics were concerned with was the problem of change. Now, the problem of change can best be described this way. There is an inverse relationship between the changes in reality and knowledge of them, so that the more there is change, the less we are able to know about reality. If reality does not change, then we're able to know a lot of things. There were two sides to this debate. Heraclitus was the philosopher who claimed that everything was constantly moving. His dates are 470 BCE. He said that reality is in a constant flux of constant change. One of the fragments from his writings says, "You can't step into the same river twice." Now think about that. You're in a nature walk, you're walking along, you take your sandals off, you put your feet in the creek, and there's sand that rolls over your toes. Well, when you step into it again, it's going to be different sand. It's going to be different animals. It's going to be different water. You can't step into the river twice. The element that best described Heraclitus' process of change was fire. Now, he didn't say that everything was on fire, but that fire produced changes of substance, and elements changed into their opposite substance. So in a process of creation and destruction, we have continuous change occurring in reality. Another fragment from Heraclitus is, "War is the father and king of all. Conflict is justice." What could this possibly mean? How could conflict be justice? Well, think about this just for a minute. If we have an extremist position on any issue, there's going to be conflict, correct? Someone is going to oppose that position. And in opposing that position, the end result, after the war is over, is going to be a more moderate position on reality, so that there is justice in moderation. And this is a theme in all of ancient Greece, that moderation is the basis for reality and is the basis for justice. This foreshadows something that Plato will say. Nothing is ever the same. Your present is slipping away. This is another very interesting fragment that someone from 20th century philosophy has contemplated a great deal. The 20th century philosopher I'm thinking about is Husserl. Edmund Husserl was a German philosopher who founded the school of phenomenology. And his main interest was to understand now. What is the most immediate experience of now? You might be able to contemplate this with this question: when does now become next? What is that perfect interface between now and next? Well, Husserl said that when you think about now, it's already a thought and has passed. So the perception is in the past of the most immediate experience of now. Husserl said that the most immediate experience of now was like an envelope, a stretched envelope of experience in anticipation and also an slipping away. Opposing Heraclitus' thought was a school called the Eleatics, and Parmenides was the founder of this school. Zeno was a follower of Parmenides and gave many arguments in support of his idea that nothing ever changed. We were able to know things. Reality was constant. Parmenides' dates are 515 to 440 BCE. His claim was, it just is. And his counter-argument to Heraclitus was that if nothing exists, then it is something. And think about that. The moment you are thinking about nothing, it's an idea, isn't it? And an idea is something. And Parmenides said that it is impossible to conceive of nothing. Furthermore, he had another counter-argument. He said, how is it possible that something can come from nothing? Now, Heraclitus had argued that there was a dynamic relationship of creation and destruction between opposites. Something and nothing are opposites, aren't they? And I don't think that you can get something from nothing. That's what Parmenides said. Parmenides described reality as eternal, indivisible, indestructible, and uncreated. He called it being. Zeno, his follower, who lived about 490 BCE, gave some arguments to describe the impossibility of motion and change. He said even if there was motion, we could never go anywhere. Imagine trying to move from the outer side of a circle to its center. You first would have to get halfway. But before you got halfway, you'd have to move from the outer halfway to halfway. And before you got there, you'd again have to get halfway, ad infinitum. You could never go anywhere. Now, this might seem true theoretically, and certainly true when you contemplate a mathematical number line, but we do know that we get up in the morning, and we go to work, and we go to school, and we come back home. We do go places.